What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, with a quick look at what's new with tvOS 9.2. Now this launched alongside iOS 9.3 last week, and it does come with some major new features which are worth pointing out. Now if you want to know what's new with tvOS 9.2, there's also a new section for that if we go to System Settings, go to System, and go to What's New, and this will highlight what's new. In this case, we have 4 distinct areas to take a look at: Siri and dictation, foldering, wireless keyboard support, and photos. So we now have iCloud integration for photos as well. So let's take a look at some of these. Now what I want to do is go to Settings, General, and go all the way down here to Dictation. So with this turned on, we can input text, passwords, anything into any text box instead of having to use the on-screen keyboard, which is really nice. So to try out some of these new Siri features, let's go to Search. Now as you can see, if you look at the text input box, it now tells me that I can hold the voice button on the remote control to input text. Previously, we didn't have this option. We actually had to use this on-screen keyboard, which was very slow and cumbersome. So now I can just say Star Trek, and you get that little waveform that tells me that it's listening to me and will input the text. This also works with passwords, and you can spell out the password. So if you have an alphanumeric password, this is a great way of entering it without using the cumbersome on-screen keyboard. Siri also finally integrates the App Store, so I can just command Siri to download Showtime. So this will take me to a selection of Showtime apps I can click on to download directly from the App Store. I can also limit my search by category. Download weather apps. Download a kids game. Now if I say open Crossy Road, I don't have that app downloaded yet, but I can go ahead and select it right now. Next up is foldering. It works very similar to iOS. So for example, if I tap and hold on one of these apps, just using the trackpad, it starts to wiggle. Now I can move it around and hover it over an app I may want to folder it with. So for example, let's hover it over CBS here, and there we go. It creates a new folder. I can hit the trackpad again to lock it into place. Swipe up to the top and I can name this folder, but it does make a suggestion based on the type of content I have in here. Now of course I could use the old-fashioned method here, but what I want to do is use voice dictation. Television. Now if you want to get rid of a folder, just tap and hold, and now you can move the app out of the folder and drag it back to the home screen. There's another way to do this here. So if I tap and hold on the icon again and press the pause play button, this will give me the option to move it to the home screen, and that will get rid of the folder entirely. This also works on the home screen to create a folder. Just tap and hold here and press the play pause button again, and this gives me the option to create a new folder. Now if I create a new folder here, we're just going to leave it as entertainment and go to another app and try the same thing. Just tap and hold and then click play pause. I can now move it to that folder or any folder that is named in my home screen. The Photos app also gains iCloud support, so your entire iCloud library is now available on your Apple TV. That includes your photo library, your albums, so you can see all your albums broken down by their specific categories, as well as your shared folders. Photos also includes live photo support. So if you scroll through your items here, you can see you get these little previews. Now if you want to see the entire live photo, just tap and hold on the trackpad, and then you get the full effect, including the audio. This feature also includes support for slow motion and time-lapse videos as well. Bluetooth keyboard support has finally returned. We have to go to Settings, Remote, and Devices, and then we can go to Bluetooth. And under Bluetooth, this is where we can now pair a keyboard. So right now I have my Logitech K811 ready to be paired. All I have to do is select it, and it will connect it automatically. So once the keyboard is connected, I can now use my keyboard to navigate. So I can input text, I can use the directional keys in order to navigate through the interface. And with this keyboard, this Logitech keyboard, I even have some iOS functions which work here, like the home key, which acts as kind of a back key. The recent apps launcher has also been updated to reflect iOS 9. Now, if you didn't know about this, just double tap the home button and this brings up all of your recent apps in a suspended state, very similar to iOS 9. So you can jump back to the apps you were looking at previously. Now, I can swipe across the screen here and you can see it snaps into place when you find the app you want to reaccess. Now, I get a little preview here so I can tap and reaccess it if I want, and it reloads it if necessary. Now, double tap again, and as you can see, very similar to iOS 9, I can also swipe up to dismiss the apps. If I want to swipe up here to dismiss search, I can do so, settings, etc. The remote controller also picks up some welcome improvements. You can no longer just simply swipe across the trackpad when the video is playing to scrub it. Now you have to pause it and then scrub it. So you can scrub to wherever you want, click the trackpad again to resume playback. Now this is such a simple fix, but it does make a huge impact here because this was a huge gripe for me with this remote controller. It was so bad that I actually never used it. I used my universal remote instead. Another new feature can be found under Settings and AirPlay. That is Conference Room Display. So when this is turned on and you're in a conference room setting, this will give participants instructions on how to connect their Mac or iOS device to use it as a display for their presentation. You have other options such as customizing the message, and you can choose a photo to be displayed. Alrighty guys, hope you enjoyed this look at tvOS 9.2 and some of its major and minor new features. As new releases come out, I will keep you updated with a video, so stay tuned for that. And until then, I'll see you again in the next video.